think about 3/4 of the game. It's not a pretty offensive half in the first half either way, but I thought our guys did a good job leading the defense. We had 3 guys that had double-figure deflections, which is a huge deal for us. And it was nice to see the ball go in for Cam Jones, because he's been struggling to shoot from outside. We got to keep building and growing our younger guys. They got extended minutes tonight. Lots to learn there.
I know Cam's much more than just the shooting numbers, but still, what do you see? How did you see him get back to his efficient self?
Well, the ball bounced up in the air to about 20 feet, came back down, rolled around the whole rim, and then went in. Cam is, anyone I've ever coached, he's a rhythm shooter. And he's feeling good. He can kick it up there, and he can go in. So it's amazing how ball going in helps you with the next one. He got some rhythm and was able to make 4 threes.
Shaka, can you kind of sympathize with what Shah's going through here? He's got some injuries, doesn't have the same team he had last year. What's kind of the outside perception of his team this year?
I'm the wrong guy to ask about that. I mean, they were down 2 of their better players tonight in the backcourt, so I think you could take any team in our league, and if you subtract 2 starting guards, it's going to be tough for them, to win. In terms of outside perception, I don't really focus on that. Shaheen Holloway is one of the top coaches in the country. I think the job he did last year was as good of a coaching job as anyone in the country. I thought they got robbed not being in the NCAA tournament. I thought it really made no sense, a team that beat UConn last year and beat us. I believe at 13 regular season Big East wins. I don't know, that was bizarre that they didn't make it. And then they lost a lot of guys off of that team. And listen, I'm the last guy that's an expert on NIL or any of that stuff. But I think we all know it's a factor why players move. And I know this, Shaheen Holloway is a winner. He's always been a winner. And he will continue to be.
Thank you.
The bench guys got extended run today. I know you want to see more of them. What do you want them to take away from the effort tonight?
Just continue to grow up. Grow up. And that's, I don't say that in a derogatory way. This is not high school anymore. This is college. And if you want to play more and you want to play better, then you have to take ownership of everything that goes into that, starting culturally, secondly, defensively, and thirdly, offensively, in that order. And these guys have been awesome in practice. And I'm fine. I'm not, Coach Brown taught me a long time ago, things don't always happen when you want them to, but they always happen on time. But if they want to be frontline guys this year and get that type of minutes in a game that's a possession game, then they got to play better. And again, on the defensive end before the offensive end. So we're going to keep working on it.
Shaka, you have a similar career arc to Shah, right? Led a mid-major deep into the tournament, has had success at the high major level. How difficult or how different is it to instill culture at the high major level in this day and age with everything that's going on in sport?
Well, it's just, college sports have changed so much. I think that for all of us as coaches and as players, we're just trying to adapt and evolve and learn. And I was joking with somebody the other day, at some point, someone's going to sue the NCAA and say, I think every 5th possession we should have 2 basketballs out there. And they're going to win. And so then, as coaches and players, we need to figure it out and say, okay, every 5th possession, we're going to have 2 basketballs. How do we defend these guys? Okay, how do we need to adjust? But the way to do that is not to, you know, lament that it's not 1985 anymore. And I think that's, for any of us as coaches, we just have to keep figuring it out, finding a way. I'm not a big social media guy. Somebody sent me some rant that Bobby Knight had, you know, I think it was in the early 90s, and he's just going off on his team. And it sounded so, like, you can't do that. That's not building culture. And this is a guy who's one of the best ever, won 3 national championships. So it has changed. I think one thing that will never change, ever, is that by far the biggest component of your culture is the people in your room. That'll never change. So those of us that are in this room, if we're a team, then our culture is 95% can be determined by what's inside of us. And if it's not good, then we're not gonna have a good culture.
Sorry, think about trying to play 2 basketballs right now. With BG, like, you know, he's shooting well today. Last game he had 8 offensive rebounds. The game before against Georgetown, one of his best defensive games. Just what have you seen from him over the last month or so?
He's gaining confidence. You know, he came into the year as someone who'd been a backup, and he has so much humility. I think he thinks of himself lesser than what we would love for him to think of himself. But it's great to see his confidence build in the last couple months since he's assumed his full-time starting role. I think that he can continue to do that. But to your point, the thing that's been great about Ben is in different games, he's done different things to help us win or have a chance to win. So whether it's rebounding on one night, whether it's banging and fighting against, you know, a Goliath on another night, whether it's making threes on another night, he's a versatile guy, and I think there's a couple more notches where he can keep getting better.
What was the final deflection number?
53.
What did you see defensively from your team? 18 steals today.
I thought our guys did a good job with activity. I thought, you know, in the last 10 minutes or so, we did not defend as well. Seton Hall shot 65% in the second half. We didn't make them miss well enough. I do think in different games, and this is probably a very, very difficult conference to officiate, but I think in different games, the games, you know, some games that, you know, nothing's called, some games more is called. So as a player, you got to adjust to that. But I thought Stevie, Chase, and Cam, those guys set a tone with hand activity and deflections that, you know, helped us hold them to 21 points in the first half, which, you know, the way you make a team feel in their own building that's significant. And if you allow them to feel too good about themselves, it's going to be a long night. Good. Thank you.
Come in.
Thank you, guys.